Stories, Philippines podcast.
The world is full of ghosts, and not all of them wear white gowns or rattle chains in abandoned hotels. The most chilling specters are often invisible, not souls of the dead, but the haunting absence of truth. They are the cold cases, the mysteries that defy logic, the crimes that leave behind a raw, gaping hole in the fabric of human justice. These are the narratives of confusion, the stories where the darkness is not in the supernatural presence, but in the profound, unsettling sense that the monster walked away free, melting back into the crowd. A darkness permeates this episode, touching on scenes and themes some may find profoundly disturbing. Listen with necessary caution. I am Paul, and you are listening to Stories Philippines podcast. This is the second part of our special. For Halloween 2025, we turn our attention from the ghosts of historical trauma to the silence of the unsolved, the crimes that gnaw at the collective consciousness of the Philippines and the world. In the Philippines, the story of an unsolved crime often feels less like a riddle and more like an open wound, kept festering by the slow grind of the judicial process or the unsettling shadow of powerful forces. One such case, a darkness that stained the beginning of the 1990s, is the Visconde murders. Picture a quiet, wealthy subdivision in Parañaque City, Metro Manila in the year 1991. It was a time when the city was growing, stretching its suburbs into what felt like safe, ordered communities. The family of Lauro Visconde lived in one of these homes. One evening in June, the unthinkable happened. His wife, Estrelita, and their daughters, Carmela and Jennifer, were brutally murdered inside their home. The youngest, 7-year-old Jennifer, was stabbed multiple times. Carmela, 19 years old, was raped before being killed. It was a crime of staggering violence, a raw display of evil that shattered the illusion of security for an entire nation. The initial investigation was a tangled mess of conflicting theories, procedural failures, and political pressure. Years later, a group of suspects was identified and convicted, including a prominent family member's son. Yet the legal battle dragged on for nearly 2 decades. In the end, after appeals and years of doubt and public outcry, the Supreme Court of the Philippines acquitted the principal accused in 2010 due to what they cited as reasonable doubt regarding the evidence and testimonies. The acquittal, while a legal maneuver, left a profound scar. The perpetrators, in the eyes of many, had escaped justice. The spectral absence of a clear truth in the Visconde case leaves a haunting echo that is difficult to shake. It feels like a fundamental breach of cosmic order. This kind of unsettling ambiguity finds its parallel in some of the most enduring global cold cases. Consider the case of the Black Dahlia in Los Angeles, California in 1947. The victim, Elizabeth Short, was found mutilated and bisected in a vacant lot. The crime scene was theatrical, gruesome, and utterly baffling. Like the Visconde case, the investigation was messy, drawing in numerous false confessions and sensational media coverage. The killer, to this day, has never been definitively caught. The case remains a macabre piece of Hollywood mythology, the beautiful victim and the faceless killer fixed forever in a horrifying tableau. What links the Visconde murders and the Black Dahlia is the pervasive sense of a hidden truth, a belief that the real killer or the true motive is known but remains shielded by powerful external forces, whether social influence in Manila or the corrupting power of celebrity in Los Angeles. The very lack of resolution becomes the story. The void is the ghost. In the global imagination, the faceless killer who walks among us is a particularly potent source of terror. Think of the Zodiac Killer in Northern California in the late 1960s and early 70s. This monster, who taunted police with cryptograms and letters, claimed responsibility for a series of brutal murders. The fear of the Zodiac was not just about the killings, but about the terrifying intellectual game he played with the public. The lack of an identified face allowed the killer to become an almost mythical figure, a pure symbol of chaos. The Philippines has its own unsettling parallels with this kind of faceless, methodical darkness, often manifesting in the political landscape. The case of Salvador Dacer and Emmanuel Corbito in 2000 is a chilling example. Dacer, a respected publicist, and his driver Corbito were abducted on their way to work at the Manila hotel. Their bodies were later found burnt, a brutal public statement. The investigation pointed to a high-level conspiracy involving members of a police anti-crime task force, yet the web of accusation and denial stretched so far into the political and law enforcement elite that the case became a symbol of impunity. The chilling, unstated belief in both the Zodiac case and the Dacer Corbito case is that the killer or the conspirators were smarter than the system. They were protected by a kind of invisible shield, whether it was the shroud of anonymity or the cloak of institutional power. This suggests a darker anxiety in the Filipino consciousness, the fear that the multo or the vengeful spirit is not the only thing one must fear. Sometimes, the most powerful evil is a person wearing a uniform or driving an unmarked car, an evil protected not by ancient magic but by modern bureaucracy. The fear of a life erased without a trace also fuels our deepest terror. Around the world, cases of vanishing individuals capture our imagination because they violate the fundamental rule of existence: everyone must be accounted for. The ongoing mystery of the Malaysian Airlines Flight 370, which vanished in 2014 leaving no confirmed wreckage or distress signal, is a terrifying modern example. It is a massive metallic ghost, a plane full of souls that simply cease to be. In the Philippines, the phenomenon of forced disappearances, particularly in rural and political contexts, creates a similar, deeply unsettling absence. People are desaparecidos, their fates swallowed by unknown forces. Their families are left in a state of perpetual limbo. Unable to mourn, unable to find closure, this is a form of haunting imposed by human hands, where the victim's ghost is manufactured by the living, a political phantom designed to instill fear. We are reminded that the terror of the unsolved is often psychological. The human mind craves patterns, causes, and effects. When a terrifying event occurs without a clear conclusion, when the perpetrator escapes or the victim simply vanishes, the mind recoils. We begin to fill the void with our own nightmares. This is why the stories of things like the aswang, the shape-shifting creature of Filipino folklore, persist so fiercely in the provinces. The aswang is often invoked to explain the unexplainable. A missing fetus, a dead neighbor, a child's sudden illness. The monster becomes a narrative container for the random, inexplicable brutality of life. The unsolved crime becomes a modern aswang tale, a placeholder for the terrifying idea that true evil can happen anywhere, to anyone, and that sometimes no one will ever pay the price. Take the case of the missing beauty queen Catherine, a captivating mystery that unfolded in 2023. She vanished without a trace after telling her mother she was meeting a friend. The investigation led to unsettling leads, including an official from the Philippine National Police. The case gained massive national attention, fueling endless speculation on social media. Her car was later found, burned, and abandoned. Yet, as of this time, the victim's remains have not been recovered. The mystery of her disappearance, the fact that a vibrant life could simply dissolve into the night, feeds the public's anxiety. This story of a bright life extinguished by an invisible hand has parallels in cases like the Australian disappearance of the Beaumont children in 1966. 3 young siblings vanished from a beach in broad daylight. No bodies were ever found. The absence of a conclusion paralyzed the entire country, changing forever the way parents allowed their children to play outdoors. The terror lies in the utter normality of the setting: the busy street in Manila, the sunny beach in Adelaide. The evil arrived, did its work quickly, and left only the chilling, unanswered question: where did they go? The pursuit of these cold cases, this desperate human need for an answer, is a modern form of pilgrimage. It is a secular attempt to close the circle, to bring peace to the suffering of the dead, and to calm the anxiety of the living. When the legal system fails, the story takes over. The Ghost Story, the True Crime Podcast, the endless online forum devoted to solving the case, these are the ways we collectively try to force a confession from the universe itself. We tell the story not just to remember the victim, but to force the truth to manifest, to exercise the silent, creeping shadow of the unknown killer. We know that many of you listening have your own stories of unexplained incidents, strange encounters, or local legends about crimes that were never solved. If you have any theories or have witnessed something that might help us understand the darkness, please share it. Submit your stories to our email, storiesphpodcast@gmail.com. The unsettling truth is that for some victims, the end of the investigation is only the beginning of their eternal haunting. They remain fixed to the earth, not as a visible ghost, but as a constant nagging question. A piece of the puzzle deliberately removed to ensure the picture can never be completed. Access exclusive content on Patreon for deeper dives into the psychological impact of unsolved crime. Follow us on social media for daily folklore facts that might explain the monsters among us. The stories of the unsolved crimes in the Philippines and around the world teach us one terrible lesson: that the most potent and terrifying evil does not come from beyond the grave, but from the darkness that already resides within the human heart. Is a crime truly solved if the truth remains hidden even when a body is found or a name is given? Is the monster only a monster if we can see its face? The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he did not exist. Join us next time for the final part of our Halloween special when we explore the dark folklore that is woven into the very concept of the Filipino monster. Do not forget to like, subscribe, follow, and share this podcast. Support the podcast financially in ways you can find in the show notes. Good night, and have a happy Halloween to everyone.